Hey everybody, this is Walt.
This is Max.
And you are listening to our podcast on dystopian cinema.
We are Useless Info Inc., and this is The Future Sucks, of course. And today we're doing one of the big ones. We're doing RoboCop, right?
RoboCop.
1987, directed by Paul Verhoeven. And this is our first repeat director, right?
Yes.
Because we had him for Starship Troopers.
That's correct.
And he's come back for a second round because he knows his dystopian cinema. Scripted by Edward Neumeier, who also scripted Starship Troopers.
Right.
If I recall correctly.
That's right.
Right. And music by Basil Polidoris.
Which we are listening to right now.
Again. Okay, so let's start out with a little summary here, Walt.
Yep.
So it's the future. It's Detroit, right?
Detroit.
Detroit. A rundown Detroit, which is kind of what happened anyway, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. And the company called OCP pretty much runs the whole place.
Pretty much, yeah.
They
Another
run the
giant
police
conglomerate.
department. Yeah.
Which is prevalent in dystopian cinema.
Which kind of reminds you of Rollerball, right?
Rollerball, yes.
Yeah. And they've got a new plan to raise old Detroit and build a new futuristic city called Delta City.
Delta City.
Right? But first they got to clean out all the crime.
Not an easy task.
Yeah. So an exec named Dick Jones. Yeah.
There's a joke in there.
Exactly, yeah.
Because he basically is a fucking dick.
He's a dick and he's a Joneser. And he comes up with a new law enforcement robot called ED-209.
Ed-209.
Ed-209, that's right. Test it out, but it kills a guy.
Yeah, kills one of the corporate guys at the board
Yes.
meeting. And really kills the hell out of him.
Yeah, it slaughters him. And the guy lands right on the model of Delta City, right? Which is kind of symbolic.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
City built on blood.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a crime boss named Clarence Boddicker
Yes.
and his men, they've just lifted some money. They robbed a bank or something? Do we ever know?
Right, yeah. They rob a bank, but the money's burned for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not really explained, or I didn't pay close enough attention at that point.
Yeah.
But it's a setup. It's a setup to get to Peter Weller's character.
Right. They're tracked in an abandoned warehouse by Officer Murphy, played by Peter Weller,
And his partner.
Lewis.
And
Who's
Lewis.
Played by
Nancy Allen.
Nancy Allen, that's right. And the thugs capture and shoot Murphy.
Viciously.
Yeah, leaving him to die, basically. But Murphy figures into a plan by another OCP exec named Bob Morgan.
Bob Morgan, right. Played by Miguel Ferrer.
That's right. Legend.
A great genre actor.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
A lot of us know him from Twin Peaks, of course.
Oh, yeah. And there's another actor from Twin Peaks in this. Ray Wise.
Right, yeah, Ray Wise.
Who's also
one
in
of the
Blue
thugs.
Velvet.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't touch me, man!
David Lynch alumni here.
Yeah.
So he has Murphy converted into a cybernetic cop named RoboCop, right?
Conveniently enough.
Yep. He's a big success on the streets, right? He kills a couple of rapists. He stops
Shoots that guy in the nuts.
Yes, that was pretty good. Stops a hostage situation.
Right. Which was the mayor or the ex-mayor? The ex-mayor of Detroit.
And then a councilman.
Right,
Like
that's
took them
right.
hostage or something like that, right?
Comes through the wall,
Yeah.
which is great.
And only Lewis notices his resemblance to the dead Murphy.
Right. Murphy, it's you.
And it's that the trick with the gun.
Yeah, he learned it for his kid who was into a TV show called TJ Laser,
Laser,
which is based on TJ Hooker, the William Shatner show of the time.
Yeah.
Which is really funny.
Yeah. So RoboCop has a nightmare about the killing of Murphy, his former self. So he comes across one of Boddicker's gang who recognizes him as Murphy.
Right.
Interesting, he recognizes him more than his fellow police officers do, right?
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
from a distance.
Just seeing his mouth.
Yeah.
And his jaw.
His lower jaw, yeah.
We killed you! When he's robbing that gas station.
Yeah.
Right.
So RoboCop goes to Murphy's home because he finds out that this guy killed a guy named Murphy, killed that cop.
Right.
So he tracks Murphy's home down and finds it abandoned and for sale, but memories keep coming back.
Right, as
of
he's
his
walking
former
through the
life.
home, yeah.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Bob Morgan, the guy who basically created RoboCop, he's killed by Boddicker, who turns out to be working directly for Dick Jones.
For Dick Jones, right.
Yeah, that's a corporate takeover there.
Who's the main villain, actually, in this film. You discover during that.
And RoboCop also finds Boddicker, and through him gets to Dick Jones, but when he tries to arrest him, what happens?
Directive 4.
Directive 4.
Because he's product. He can't arrest a senior member of OCP.
So he's got 4 directives, right?
Right.
And what are they?
The 4th directive is, you can't arrest a senior member of...
Yeah, and that one's hidden until
he
right
tries
now.
to arrest him.
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law, and the 4th directive is hidden until right now.
Yeah,
so
that scene.
He can't do anything to Dick Jones, and Dick Jones brings in Ed 209.
Another Ed 209, right.
And that's right, a different one.
No, maybe it's the same one.
Could be the same one,
I think
right?
it's the same one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was a prototype.
It was
That's
a
right.
prototype,
So yeah, it's the same one.
And the Detroit Police Force.
Yeah.
Who turn against RoboCop.
You have those two cops that say, "Hey, he's a cop."
Yeah.
They kind of go, "No, we have orders to kill him." They go, "Oh, shucks," and just kind of run away.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah.
really stand up for him beyond saying, "Hey, no."
And Lewis helps him escape.
Yes. Yeah.
So he and Lewis hold up in a steel mill, and Boddicker and his gang arrive because they've received a tracker from Dick Jones,
yeah,
right?
he's got a tracing device in
so
him.
and they received like military-grade weaponry.
Yeah,
like
these
this
huge
big
cannons.
old, So they track RoboCop down, and there's a big old battle at the end, and RoboCop and Lewis manage to defeat them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then RoboCop...
In very messy manners.
yeah, we'll
very
talk
messy
about
ways.
that. We're going to get to that. RoboCop goes to an executive meeting, presents the evidence on Dick Jones, and the CEO helpfully fires Jones on the spot, which allows...
The old man.
Yeah, which allows RoboCop to shoot him.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
He shoots him through the window.
What's your name, son?
Murphy.
That's when he finally identifies himself as Murphy.
And he smiles.
That's right. He's come complete. He's finally sort of managed to embrace his human nature.
He rediscovered his humanity.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all right, so let's talk about this thing. First, how prescient is this? Like in terms of how well it's kind of prophesied the future.
I think it's on and off. I mean,
Yeah.
it's also satirical.
It's definitely it's definite
dark,
satire.
urban satire.
Yeah.
The violence is overblown for a reason.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so what do you think the reason is?
just to show how horrific violence in general is, especially in an urban setting, because there's so much going on. When he first goes out in the streets, there's like 3 or 4 different crimes he discovers in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's more important today than when it came out in the 80s.
Why do you say that?
Well, big business, like
Well,
we've talked about in the past with dystopian films.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to mention.
And the OCP stands for, what is it? Omni Consumer Products.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But
that's a broad...
But they
Scope.
mention that they already own hospitals, prisons, and space exploration.
And he says at one point, too, we're practically the military.
Yeah.
Dick Jones says that to
Which
Boddicker.
in 87 was the future.
Right.
Not anymore.
Right.
Now
Okay.
we have private prisons.
Right.
We have corporate-owned hospitals.
Right.
We've got a billionaire who's got his own space program.
Yeah.
Right? And
Right,
we've
that's
got
right.
private corporations like Blackwater
Right.
working for the U.S. military.
We have a multi-millionaire
All this
as
has
president.
happened. All this has happened. I mean, the only thing that hasn't happened is a corporation owning a police force.
And robot cops.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Cyborg cops.
Yeah. All that is around the corner, though.
Like I said, I think that it does, like any good dystopian movie, it kind of tries to see into the future, tries to predict what's going to happen.
Yes.
And I think this was kind of close to the mark.
Yeah.
Just, for me, the only thing that holds it back is, like I said, the dark satirical nature of it. Mm-hmm. And it's more about Peter Weller's character, RoboCop, Murphy. It's more about his arc than anything else.
Okay.
The other stuff is kind of going on around him. This is another modern take on the Frankenstein mythos to me.
Okay, so I think what we're saying is this works on at least 3 levels.
At least 3 different
which
levels.
is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
For any movie. One level is, I think, the commentary, and we got to remember this was still the Reagan years,
Right.
when corporations were actually starting to take over things, and now we're in a whole different stage. And one reason why OCP has done so well is shifts in the tax structure have made the economy ideal for corporate growth,
Right.
which just happened.
Right. That's
Like
right.
in
That's
real
correct.
life, right?
Yeah. See.
So basically, the city went bankrupt, so they can't fund the police force anymore because not enough taxes are coming in. So OCP gets to take it over.
Corporation moved in.
That shit is like actually happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's true.
So you've got that element. You've got the satire that you're talking about.
Right.
And I think a lot of that comes through the commercials.
Yeah. The media breaks.
Nuke 'em.
Yeah. The game. Holographic board game.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of happening now. I mean, you've got
Yeah.
all these holographic type video games and stuff like this, these VR headsets and what
Yeah,
have you.
yeah.
The media breaks are funny.
Yeah, they're hilarious.
Kind of like what we have now online on the internet. Constant bombardment with information.
Yeah, and the news comes in 3-minute like sound bites.
Yeah,
basically,
exactly,
you
yeah.
know, which is like quick, quick, quick.
Right.
Which wasn't a thing back then.
Right, no,
But
no,
it's
it
a
wasn't.
thing now.
One of the newscasters is Lisa Gibbons.
Yeah, that's
You remember
right.
her from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
80s,
yeah.
from Entertainment Tonight,
Yeah, uh-huh.
which is funny. So
Yeah.
she was a newscaster, or an entertainment newscaster
Yeah.
in real life, so to speak.
This movie, it kind of pushes into a campy kind of place.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right?
I think
Yeah,
it had
yeah.
to, for me, because
Okay.
if it didn't,
Yeah,
I think it would have been frowned upon. If it was too dark,
yeah.
I don't think it would have been as popular as it is, or considered a modern cult classic the way it is. It would have just been a very depressing, dark film.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah, it's really interesting the way Verhoeven plays it.
Yeah.
I think he does a similar thing later on in Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
even like farther to the edge. This kind of pushed it just a little bit beyond like reality.
Okay.
Like kind of
Yeah.
everything about like the acting and everything, except for Peter Weller. Everything is just pushed a little bit farther, like those two rapists.
Yeah.
Where they're like howling and just like screaming.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
A lot of the dialogue scenes and everything. In fact, when I first watched this, I didn't like it.
Really?
Because of that. I couldn't
Okay.
take it seriously. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I liked it specifically because it reminded me of comic books.
Okay.
It really did. And I've read that this is supposed to loosely be based on Judge Dredd. We just reviewed
which
Dredd
we did recently,
a couple
yeah.
of reviews back.
Yeah, well, definitely his helmet, the lower jaw, and
Yeah.
his kind of approach to
I mean, the
crime
way the
fighting
city
and-
is,
yeah.
the way Detroit is, it's almost like
Yeah,
Mega
it's
City
true.
1, rampant with crime.
I think there was a tonal issue for me.
Okay.
Where, as you said before, Peter Weller's kind of journey as RoboCop is a real character-based and a poignant performance, I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
You're supposed to really be with him through that whole journey.
Yeah.
But
you
on
do
the other
stick
hand,
with him, too.
Yeah, there was all this other crazy stuff going on. So the tonal shifts didn't really work for me, but I was really young, and I hadn't seen a lot of movies at that point.
Okay,
Like, the
right.
movies I had seen were pretty much consistent in tone.
Right.
Then I started watching like more European films and
Okay.
started seeing these kind of interesting juggling acts done by European directors, like Paul Verhoeven, of course, as we mentioned, was
Right.
a Dutch director.
Right, right. And this is his first major American film.
It was, right, yeah.
Yeah.
After, was it, the first one didn't do so well. Rutger Hauer was it?
Rutger Hauer and Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah, I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I can't remember
Can't
the
remember
name
the
of it
name of it,
either.
but it was
a
yeah.
smaller budget movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it had
This is the
Rutger Hauer and
first
Jennifer
major
Jason Leigh.
one.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to do this.
Yeah, he didn't like the script.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
threw it away.
Yeah, it was his wife who said, no, wait.
She read it. She pulled it out of the trash bin and read it.
Yeah, so he found something in it, and I think he clearly made it his own.
Exactly.
Through the
yeah.
process,
I
right?
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Now I come around really appreciating, really understanding what he's doing, like with all this kind of stuff.
Right. I loved
Yeah.
it when I first saw it as a kid,
Yeah.
and I still love it to this day.
It took me a couple of tries, but
I got more out of it as I got older.
Absolutely. Yeah,
to be
yeah,
honest
yeah.
with you. I did look at it, like I said, like a big comic book dystopian sci-fi film, action
Yeah.
film when I was younger. After repeat viewings, I got a lot more out of it.
yeah, because there's a lot in
And
there.
started to see the satirical elements, the commentary
Yeah.
on society and big business, greed, power, finding one's humanity,
Yeah.
or rediscovering one's
So,
humanity.
yeah, speaking of that, talk about the arc.
Well, basically, you're with Murphy from the beginning.
Yeah.
He's just an all-around nice guy, wants to do good,
Yeah,
transfers to this precinct because he figures he can do more good there because they need more cops.
yeah.
And then he gets slaughtered by these thugs, by Boddicker and his crew. And, I mean, they shoot the hell out
Oh,
of him.
it's horrible. Yeah.
That was one of the scenes where I think they had to try to edit a little bit because they were going to have a rated X.
I
It
think.
was almost going to be rated X
Yeah,
because
now-
of the violence.
So the version you have on DVD, is that the? Because I know they
It's
released.
the director's cut.
So that is the X-rated version.
It's the
Or what is
Criterion,
it?
yeah.
That is like it's more graphic violence.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially the scene in the boardroom.
Yeah. Okay.
That goes on for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And,
yeah.
and that scene is played for black humor.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like
Exactly.
Like someone's calling for a paramedic.
Right. Are you okay? Dude, you all right? Oh, shit. Damn, he was going to buy lunch today.
So you've got that contrasting with, I mean, they're both really violent scenes, but the Peter Weller scene, we're supposed to be there with him.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Right.
You know, it's
yeah.
like, it's a really interesting way that he's kind of having his cake and eating it too.
Like-
and he gets away with it.
Like I said, it's very Frankenstein in the sense that you
Yeah.
just feel horrible for him.
Yeah.
And you want him to find out who he was and to succeed, and you're just backing him the whole way. You're just really in his corner in
And
this
it's
film.
interesting that you see his transformation into RoboCop through his eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's awake during that New Year's Eve thing.
Yeah, right, yeah. Switching on and off
Yeah.
almost,
With that
consciousness.
woman who looks like Parker Posey kisses him.
Right. You think she looks like Parker
I
Posey?
thought seriously, I looked up on IMDb. I thought
thought it was
I
her?
thought it was Parker Posey.
It's
She
funny how
looks so
peop-
much like Parker Posey to me.
It's so funny how sometimes people see things that way or see people that
Yeah.
way because I don't see
Really?
that at all. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was convinced.
She
I'd
gets
seen-
drunk and kisses him on
Yeah,
on the head or whatever.
Yeah. So where does the arc go from there?
Well, he kind of gets screwed over
Yeah.
because he gets killed.
Yep.
He gets fucked majorly, and then OCP picks up his body. And it's funny. There's a scene right before that where Bob says, when he gets the okay for the RoboCop program, he says, "Okay, all we need now is a volunteer."
Yeah.
Some poor schlub to volunteer.
Yeah.
And then they cut to when Murphy's getting killed in the warehouse or the steel mill. And unwillingly, I mean, you don't know if he signed any papers anywhere or what have you.
Yeah.
They just take his body and start slapping on cybernetic parts.
Because they basically own him because they own the police force.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
it's not like his wife consented to this happening.
And his other arm made it, but they took his arm off too.
Yeah.
His because he gets shot in the right hand. Yeah, so his left arm was salvageable, but he says lose the arm. So basically, he's a torso and a head.
Yeah.
Which is like, damn, that's really fucked up.
Yeah.
So once again, I hate to keep repeating myself, but the Frankenstein idea.
Yeah.
He didn't ask for this, really.
Yeah.
He didn't really ask for it. So
from there, where does it go for him, for his arc?
as he's RoboCop,
Yeah.
it's him finding his humanity once again.
Exactly.
Discovering who he was, what happened to him, almost seeking revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seeks revenge in the very beginning.
He was going to strangle
Boddicker, yeah.
but his directive kicked in.
Well, no, he reminds him that he's a cop.
Okay.
He says, I work for Dick Jones. Dick Jones works for OCP. OCP owns the cops. You're a cop.
Yeah.
And then he kind of stops. And then his directives, the three directives kick in.
Yeah.
And he says, you're right, I'm a cop. You know?
And at the end, finally, he smiles.
Yeah.
And identifies himself as Murphy.
As Murphy
not
instead
RoboCop.
of...
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting side note, I did read that Rutger Hauer, Lance Hendrickson, and Michael Ironside were all up for the role of RoboCop Murphy. Murphy/RoboCop.
That's interesting. Now, out of those three, the one I can most picture is Lance Henriksen.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe because he kind of has the Peter Weller look.
Well, the only
in a way.
reason why he bowed out was because he had other contractual obligations.
Yeah.
What I read was that Rutger Hauer and Michael Ironside were too big for the suit.
Yeah.
They were way too big for the
Yeah,
suit.
you need a small guy.
So that's why Weller kind of won out at the end when Hendrickson didn't take the role.
Yeah.
And Verhoeven liked the way he moved in the suit, that he could operate the suit very well.
Yeah.
Because he was a thin guy. And he also lost something crazy like 3 pounds a day wearing the suit.
He's
due to
sweating
water.
that
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Just sweating it out. And the other thing I read too was that, you know, the scenes you can kind of tell when you watch the movie a number of times. When he was in the suit, he couldn't get in and out of the car.
Yeah. Okay.
So they would have to take the bottom part of the suit off so he could get in the car. And he would be in the car in his underwear. Riding cowboy. The shots where he would get out of the car, they'd have him put the leg part on so that you see the foot get out of the car and then switch to the top part as he gets out of the car. So they had to do some tricky shooting because he couldn't get in and out of the car with the whole suit on.
Okay.
And it gets hence per the way the poster is. He's just already out of the car.
Yeah.
But it's an
exactly.
iconic poster.
Yeah,
We're looking
totally.
at it right now
Yeah,
on
yeah,
screen.
yeah.
It's one of my favorite movie posters.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
From the day. Yeah, pretty cool.
So one thing I want to mention, the screenplay again. There's some really smart writing in here.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed. One particular scene, the first dialogue between the OCP execs, where you can't quite tell what they're talking about.
It's kind of a roundabout conversation, so
Yeah,
to speak.
yeah, and you're like, what's going on here? And you don't find out until a few minutes later.
Right.
Which I always like it when someone, you know, someone who's written scripts before, I always appreciate when somebody does that, because it's like if you're hearing dialogue and you already know what's going on, you get kind of bored. You're like, okay, just cut to the next scene or whatever.
Right.
If you don't know what's going on as a viewer or listener, your brain is working. You're trying to figure it out, right?
Right.
So you're
Right.
engaged.
Right.
You're
Right.
like, you're trying to listen to every word. And it's a really, I think, a smart way to engage the audience. And then you get the payoff later on. Because then you're like, okay, all right, it's about this Ed 209 thing and all this other stuff.
Right.
Edward Neumeier, he's just a solid scriptwriter. I think we've seen that.
The dialogue is also very well written.
Yeah,
Period. Just across the board, it's not
There was
boring
another
dialogue.
screenwriter, right? I'm forgetting another guy.
It was two. It was
Yeah,
and Michael Miner.
Michael Miner. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
I read that they had similar scripts.
really?
Similar ideas.
What was Miner's idea?
Miner had a script that he wrote called Super Cop,
Okay.
which was, of course, it's not the Jackie Chan Super Cop, but
Yeah.
he wrote something called Super Cop, is what I read.
Okay.
The premise was the same. Edward's script was more about a real cyborg cop, a la kind of Terminator.
Yeah.
And Miner's script was a little bit more about a human cyborg. So they kind of mixed them together.
Okay.
With the elements and all that. Because they didn't want Neumeier's script in the beginning because they couldn't place where it happened, where it was happening. They couldn't get the characters. They
Yeah.
shopped it around to many different movie studios and nobody wanted it.
Okay.
When they compiled their work together,
Yeah.
then people started getting interested.
That's supposed to never work out.
Right? I know. I
You know, you just
yeah.
like slap two scripts together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But apparently, it
yeah,
worked out.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a solid script all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's Neumeyer, right? How you pronounce his last name? Neumeyer? Niemeyer?
Well, my problem is I pronounce it the German way,
Okay.
Neumeyer.
Okay.
But I don't know if he anglicized it or not.
I have no idea
So
either.
I could be completely off.
I don't
want
to insult anybody, but mispronouncing their last names, so that's why I ask.
Yeah, I actually don't know. Yeah, so don't consider us as authorities on pronunciation type stuff.
Right. Look, I can pronounce my own fucking name.
Yeah, exactly. On a good day.
But apparently he saw a poster for Blade Runner.
Yeah.
You read that?
I heard this. No,
and that's why he
us.
was interested in writing a script about a robot cop.
So he said, what's this about? And someone told him it's about a human cop who hunts robots.
Yeah.
So he thought, well, what about a robot cop who hunts humans?
Sounds like a 14-year-old kid idea, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What if we just switch it around?
Yeah, exactly. But it's so brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you take some basic thing like that and you run with it and you come up with this.
Yeah. I mean, it's influenced by a lot of different things, but it's
Yeah.
still pretty much an original
exactly feels
idea.
original.
Yes.
This is the whole thing. I think we've talked about this before. It's like the best thing you can do is to take a lot of other different disparate ideas from stuff that has influenced you, but you create something wholly original.
Exactly.
Which I'm going to go back to my bad example, which was Doomsday.
Right.
Where he took all his influences, but didn't quite make that jump to create something wholly original.
You're still hating that movie.
It's not I'm using it as an illustrative example.
Okay.
For the purposes of discussion.
All right.
That what the resulting product ended up looking like a pastiche of his influences rather than an original product.
More like a collage.
Exactly,
Yeah,
a collage.
yeah.
Whereas in something like RoboCop or like Blade Runner or Dredd, the influences are there and obvious, but there's a wholly original result.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Right.
kind of how I feel.
Don't wear your influences on the sleeve. Absorb
yeah.
them and spit something out.
Exactly.
That's your own.
Exactly. And I think
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
Verhoeven and Neumeyer and Miner did with this very successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
It took a number of passes from what
Yeah,
I...
because no other movie is quite like this.
No.
You know what I mean?
And I don't think a movie like this could get made now, to be honest.
These days, I don't see any like corporate movie studio greenlighting this.
No,
It
same
is
here.
too weird.
Yeah.
You know, it's just too out there.
Yeah, it is. It really
Yeah.
is.
Now, was this a big budget?
No, I think it was only shot for
It
something like
doesn't-
13 mil. And back then...
It doesn't seem like it because they didn't really build out a future world.
No, they shot in real cities.
Yeah, yeah.
Just kind of matte painted and stuff like this.
Yeah, and the world building is primarily through like the commercials and stuff like that.
Right.
It's not like the Blade Runner, where you create like a whole futuristic world.
Right.
So they did a lot with very limited resources.
Oh, yeah. I think the most money went into the suit.
Yeah, absolutely.
When it's a RoboCop suit.
Yeah, and you've got to spend the money there.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you don't have a good suit, you've got nothing.
I love the way it looks. It's
Yeah.
big and bulky and hulking, and it's very much of the day, but also the 80s trying to imagine the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Your mind in the 80s trying to imagine what a giant robot cop would look
Yeah.
like. So I love that fact.
And it still kind of holds up.
I think so.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially Weller in the suit.
Yeah,
Because the way he tries to make it move robotically.
Yeah.
You
He's
know,
convincing.
Yeah. He's almost like popping and locking at points. you know? So, but he makes it look cool.
Yeah.
And he does emote just with his mouth.
Again, another good jaw actor.
Yeah, right.
Like Carl Urban
Like
from Dredd. Yeah.
Like Carl Urban.
Yeah, he sells it with that jaw. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
he
really
really
good.
did.
Yeah.
Really did.
Yeah.
Oh, one other little thing that I read was that, remember the show Remington Steele?
Of course.
That Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce
was
Brosnan,
on?
yeah. For
Stephanie
Bond.
Zimbalist. She was
She
supposed
was
to
up
play.
for Lewis,
Yeah,
right?
yep. She was the original casting choice.
And
for Lewis.
that would have been interesting because she seems a lot more like kind of glamour type.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm sure it depends on the makeup and all. Because Lewis seems like she's a cop. She seems like a cop.
She
She's
seems
grounded.
grittier.
Yeah, exactly.
In the role, especially too.
Yeah.
Well, Nancy Allen has done glamour roles in the past when she was younger.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, she was in Carrie and.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
She's been in she was also in another Brian De Palma film, Dressed to Kill.
Oh yeah, she was in that.
Because I think they were married at one point.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, she's got some range,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
Because she sells this right here. I believe her as a cop.
Yeah. And I mean, she's going to be a partner to a giant robot cyborg guy. She better be a little grizzly.
She's got to sell it.
Yeah, she's got to
really
be
gotta
tough.
sell it. Yeah.
And she was in this film.
Yeah. It is now time for a portion that I call Max's Bits.
Max's Bits!
Thank you. Okay, so RoboCop makes an appearance at Lee Iacocca Elementary School.
Right.
Now, some of our listeners may not know who Lee Iacocca.
Say that 5 times
Lee
fast.
Iacocca. Who that is? You know who that is?
You explain it. I'm not.
He was originally the CEO of Ford, or he was with Ford. Then he was the CEO of Chrysler and kind of revived them.
Right.
So it says something that in this future, they're naming schools after corporate figures.
Corporate figures.
You know, instead
Right.
of like, war heroes or political figures or whatever.
Well, that's going to keep happening, or that's going to start happening anytime soon. I mean, don't we have 1 or 2 already? As it is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
So that's disgusting.
I'm going to say something, and I'm going to make this statement. It is a true statement, but I will give you no explanation. Okay.
Okay.
When I was a child, I had an autographed picture of Lee Iacocca. Okay. And I'm just going to move on. It's a true story. I'm going to move on from there.
You can't just drop that bomb and not expect me to ask how, why, what.
I'm telling you, it is best without context.
Okay.
That actually,
you brought it up, man.
Yeah, that actually.
All
I'm
right,
just
all right,
saying,
all right.
that is my.
Okay.
I'm saying I have a personal connection to Lee Iacocca.
If you want to call that a personal connection, shit.
Well, I mean, it was actually signed by, probably his secretary or somebody.
Yeah, most likely.
But
right.
but back then, you never know.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. God damn. Wow.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Moving on.
I got another bit.
right. Okay.
Phil Tippett.
Phil Tippett.
Phil Tippett, right? He designed the Ed 209 sequences.
That's right.
Now, what else did he do?
Shit, you got me on that.
The AT-AT and the Tauntauns. For
Oh,
Empire Strikes Back,
all right.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Shit.
Yeah.
That one got under my radar.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
you notice a similarity in
Yeah,
the Ed
yeah,
209 with the
right.
legs and everything, right? Yeah.
And the stop motion
Stop
work.
motion. He also did Dragon Slayer.
That's right.
He later
That's right.
worked on Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Like the non-CGI portions of the dinosaurs.
Right.
But yeah, those sequences don't quite hold up. I mean, they look a little wonky.
I love stop motion.
I know, I like it too.
I mean, I'm a Ray Harryhausen fan from a kid, so.
I really like it, but looking at it today, it doesn't.
It takes you out of it a little bit.
A little bit, but it's really cool though.
I'll admit, even when I was a kid and you saw movies that had stop motion, even though it looked great, it still kind of took you out of the movie
It was
a little bit.
little wonky.
Like
yeah.
Terminator. The first time I saw it, I was like,
no, it's true.
okay.
Yeah.
The exoskeleton looks great.
Yeah.
Or endoskeleton, whatever the hell you call it.
Yeah, like
the Terminator.
The close-ups look really good.
Yeah. I mean, because that was actual puppetry.
Exactly.
But the stop motion, it takes you out of it a little bit. Now I appreciate it just because it's a dying art.
Yeah. No,
It really is a dying art.
Yeah, you can really get into it.
Yeah.
But the other name I got to mention is Rob Bottin.
Who also worked on The Thing. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's who I was thinking about.
So he did the effects, and he did
the suit.
He did the suit.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
he built the suit.
Metal moment.
Metal moment!
Thank you. My metal moment is a segue from Rob Bottin, because he designed, he did the sequence that is my metal moment.
Okay.
Which is when that guy gets into the toxic sludge.
Right, the melting man.
His whole body is melting.
Yeah.
And he gets hit by the car and explodes.
It explodes all over the car, all over Clarence's car.
Do you have a moment more metal than that in this movie?
Oh, okay. Well, I love the whole warehouse drug bust scene with RoboCop shooting up everybody in the cocaine factory.
Okay.
I love that scene.
You think that's more metal than this, though?
Well, what's more metal than that is when he's throwing Clarence through all those windows. He throws him to 3 or 4 glass windows, interrogating him.
Yeah.
That shit is metal to me.
Okay.
He just goes after his ass.
Yeah.
And just kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah.
For me, that's metal. Mini metal moment. Okay. Mini metal moment is when Clarence is arrested and he's at the precinct and he spits blood all over the police chief's desk. Mm-hmm. Where's my fucking phone call? Which was actually improv.
Nice.
He improvised that line.
Yeah.
I love that line.
Cool.
But wait a minute. We interjected the bits.
We did. So
let's get back to the bits.
You've got more bits.
Back to bits!
Give me some.
Let me see what we got here. I did read this. Peter Weller mentioning the warehouse drug bust. Mm-hmm. That's one of his favorite scenes that he's ever filmed in his entire career, he said.
Really? Okay.
And he said while filming the sequence, he was listening to his headphones, to his Walkman.
Yeah.
Listening to Peter Gabriel's Red Rain.
Oh, wow.
While he was filming the sequence.
That's like Miami Vice shit right there.
Exactly. Could you imagine that scene? I'm going to edit that together. Peter Gabriel's Red Rain to RoboCop taking down the whole Coke warehouse.
Wow.
I should get my brother to do it. We're mad about superheroes on YouTube. Oh, the producer, John Davison, is the voice of Ed 09.
Oh,
you
wow.
have 10 seconds
Okay.
to comply.
Yeah.
That's the producer's voice.
Okay.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah.
Benny Hill was in American syndication at that point.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
kind of influenced by or loosely based on Benny Hill.
Yeah, and that show is really obviously Benny Hill with the
Oh, yeah.
boobs and like
Yeah.
the old creepy pervert guy. And like,
Right.
my God.
It's like
yeah.
whipped cream in every scene.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Exactly. But when you were a kid and that was on, it was like okay to look at, boobies on TV.
Well, the weird thing was...
And it was on Channel 13.
Exactly. It showed up on PBS.
Right, yeah.
So you figured, oh, okay, this is supposed to be good for me and educational and
Right.
shit like that. Yeah.
Thankfully, my dad liked to watch it, so I got to watch it with him.
I wonder why your dad liked it.
Exactly. Also, I read that Verhoeven plays one of the punks in the punk rock club
Oh, really?
when
Okay.
RoboCop
Yeah.
goes to get Ray Wise's character.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's one of the guys dancing around as a punk.
Funny. So I love the moment when RoboCop like hits the gun out of the guy's hand.
Yeah,
and some
right.
other guy like just grabs him. Like
He catches
oh,
it and he starts
awesome.
dancing with it. Yeah, it's really funny. He tries to kick Robo in the nuts,
Yeah.
which doesn't work. Also, every 80s sci-fi film had to have some kind of punk club,
Of course,
cyberpunk
of course.
club scene.
Because in the future we all like punked out in nightclubs listening to industrial music. That's the way it was going to be.
It's not so future. It's not so future. In the 80s, it's still kind of
Yeah.
1 foot in of the day.
It was
You know
was
what
the
I mean?
future for people who weren't into that alternative scene.
It's true, yeah.
They're like, oh wow, that's how it's going to be. Yeah.
Right? The punks are going to take over finally, huh? Okay.
But for us, it was just like, oh yeah, that's what we're into.
Right.
Yeah. What was the music playing again?
Oh, I can't
Was
remember
it-
the song, but
Was it Ministry?
no, I don't.
It wasn't
I don't
Ministry,
think so.
but it was.
It was some other band, but
Yeah.
I do not remember the
Yeah,
song.
I don't either.
It's literally in it for what, a minute?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a minute and a half scene at best, I think. And even when the music's playing, they're talking over it. There's sound effects happening
Yeah,
over
yeah,
the
yeah.
music.
Yeah.
So, not a band that I recognize instantly, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. But yeah, it's funny. Always got to have that fucking future club
Yep.
scene. You got any more bits?
No, I think I'm out of bits. Okay.
Yeah, we got the bits all wrapped up.
So what is our overall...
Oh, actually, I got one
yeah.
more. I got one more.
Another
Sorry,
bit.
sorry,
Another
sorry,
bit.
sorry,
Another
sorry.
bit. Yeah.
Sorry. Last bit. The scene where RoboCop is gonna take out the councilman
Yeah.
that has the hostages.
Yeah.
Doing the infrared heat mode,
Yeah.
vision mode, infrared heat. They actually used fluorescent body paint on the actors
Oh,
naked
funny.
and just filmed them in a black light.
So
to
they're
get that
naked.
effect. They're naked.
Oh
The
my
actors
God,
are naked
yeah.
wearing fluorescent body paint
Wow.
to get that effect. They said it would cost way too much to actually get an infrared camera.
Yeah, okay.
So they did that instead.
But did they have to be naked?
Probably
Like,
not.
Couldn't they just be wearing like light colored clothing or something? Like what's the
I
difference?
don't know. Or was like everybody stripped. Yeah, it's
Come
in your
on,
contract.
we're doing this.
Ladies first. Come on.
Well, he likes his naked scenes. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
there's a police shower,
There's another, which also
which shows up in Starship Troopers.
Yeah,
again.
the communal, shower scene,
Yeah,
communal locker room.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, they keep doing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he wants to have his nudity in there.
He's European. You know,
Well,
you
also,
can't
I
blame
mean, it was of the time.
Yeah.
You had nudity in every 80s movie. Every genre movie had nudity, every single one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From horror to sci-fi to what have you.
him.
They all had nudity.
Yeah. Okay, so we got all the bits out of the way. What is our overall assessment of this movie? I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
It's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic
It's a bona
for
fide
me.
classic. It's a great dystopian film.
it really is.
It's a good action film. It's a good satire. It's a good commentary. It's got so much going on.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of set the bar for other films after dystopian films.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to everything that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Effect-wise, too. The suit's amazing to me still to this day. Mm-hmm. A lot of work went into that. And to have that actor's face, have Peter Weller's face covered up for the majority of the film.
Yeah.
It's another risk on his part.
It was bold. Yeah.
So, and surprisingly, that he got roles after.
Yeah.
How do I know you're a RoboCop? I don't really know that for sure,
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so I think it's a great film. I still love it.
Can we say the less said about the remake, the better?
Yeah, I'm
Right.
not.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched it, to be honest with you.
I haven't
And
either.
I refuse to.
I haven't either,
Although,
quite honestly.
here's another little side thing.
Yeah.
I heard that in the remake, they use an unused scene that was supposed to be in the original RoboCop,
Interesting.
where when he goes to the house, like we mentioned, his
Yeah.
old home, that he does see his son and the family dog. And the son doesn't recognize him, but the
Yeah.
dog does.
Interesting.
Kind of like the Odyssey.
Yeah, yeah.
Odysseus, when he comes home, nobody
Good point.
recognizes him but his dog.
Yeah.
So there's another little thing there. But Verhoeven said it was too sentimental. That's why he cut it out.
Interesting, huh?
He said it was too much of a sentimental break in the film. He wanted Murphy's journey to go the way it did.
Right.
He said that was
yeah.
too much of a big sentimental break in the middle of that journey.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but apparently they used that scene in the remake. Like I said, I haven't seen it. Some people say it's worth watching. I just can't.
Because the director is Jose Padilha, whom I like quite a bit. He did those Brazilian movies, the Elite Force or something like that.
I haven't seen those movies.
Good movies. Good movies.
Yeah.
He's also the guy behind Narcos.
Oh, okay.
He was invited into an American studio. They're like, we'll give you some money, make a movie.
Yeah.
And he looks up at the wall. He sees a poster of RoboCop. He said, you guys own this? They're like, yeah. It's like, I want to remake RoboCop because he's a big fan of it.
That's bold.
What my feeling is, based on very little, is that he probably had a really good idea.
Yeah.
But the studio probably interfered and
especially
messed it up.
nowadays,
Yeah,
with a
thing.
property like it's a franchise. I mean, RoboCop
Yeah.
had 2 more sequels. It had a TV show. It had a cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
It had comic books.
Yeah.
Toys like you wouldn't believe.
Exactly, yeah.
It was a huge franchise.
Yep.
So I assume that they were trying to bank on that as well. And 9 times out of 10, when a remake is made nowadays, they're not going to make it like Verhoeven did,
No.
like they did with the original.
That's
This
the
took
thing.
a lot of chances, and
Yeah.
it paid off for me anyway. I mean, they put it out, a Criterion Collection version of it, the director's cut.
Yeah, it's worthy.
When DVDs were coming out, the Criterion Collection was looked at like, oh, they're the best movies
It was
ever
like for
kind of made.
foreign and art films and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
right.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Yeah.
I really love this movie. It's in
Absolutely.
my top 50
Yeah, no,
movies
me too.
of all time.
Me too, yeah.
And that jumps around, of course, my top 50.
Of course, it's
But this is
now,
really
now.
up there.
Yeah.
I mean, so much so that when Peter Weller started coming out with other genre movies after this,
Yeah.
you were running to see them.
Yeah.
Because you liked what
Because
he
that's
did
Peter
with RoboCop.
Weller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did put out some bad movies after this.
Yeah.
Some bad B movies. Did you hear that Blumenkamp, director of District 9,
Yeah, Neil Blomkamp. Yeah,
Neil Blomkamp,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He's going to do RoboCop Returns,
I heard about this.
and he wants Peter Weller to come back to the role.
So first he tried to make that Alien movie,
yeah,
right?
right.
That didn't go so well.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to do this.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
You know?
I hope he can do it,
I do too.
because I like his work.
I like his work a lot.
Well,
I also like Jose Padilha's work, like Elite Squad, that's the name of the movie.
Elite Squad. Okay.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
2 movies. The second one is actually better,
Okay.
but they're both very good.
What is the premise of Elite
So
Squad?
I forgot. There's like a Brazilian version of the SWAT team, right?
Is it kind of like The Raid?
Not really. So in the first one, it's like
Okay.
the SWAT team, but in the second one, it kind of reverses things, and I think it's called Elite Squad: The Enemy Within or something, because it's about the corruption within the system.
Okay.
And it
All
kind of
right.
reverses things.
Okay.
So that one's even better.
All right. I'll have to check him
yeah,
out.
he's got a
Yeah.
he's got skills.
See, but that's the thing. Once you come to America, big budget,
Yeah,
studios
I know,
and all that, they're
it's
going
a
to be like,
thing.
okay, you know what? We don't want that in this, and
That's
we
the
don't want
thing.
this and that, and the
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah.
So, you're going to
And I
have to
can-
pare it down, or
Well,
you know.
we can look at Verhoeven's first American movie. Also didn't do that well.
Right.
It almost feels like when you finally come to America, your first thing is gonna suck.
Right.
It's only when you kind of find your footing and get get some power on your side, and then
Right.
you can actually make what you want to make.
Right.
That can happen.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, I really like RoboCop.
Yeah.
I really like Starship Troopers. We also reviewed that.
We might get to Total Recall at some point too.
I have a
right? 'Cause
soft
that's
spot.
another one.
I
Yeah.
have a soft spot for Total Recall.
Yeah, I mean, he had a trifecta of dystopian cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total Recall, though. I mean, that's got. We'll get into that. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna get
yeah,
into it
that's
now.
that's a whole other.
Let's stay on
episode.
RoboCop. Let's
Yeah,
stay
yeah,
on RoboCop.
yeah.
Stay on RoboCop.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite quotes, like I said, where's my fucking phone call?
Yeah.
Love that shit. What Murphy says to Lewis
Yeah.
after they kill Boddicker, after he stabs him with the
Yeah,
that
that's pretty great.
information
Yeah.
blade, whatever the hell
Yeah.
it is. He says, Lewis, he's calling for Lewis.
Yeah.
And she says, Murphy, I'm a mess, because she got all shot up by Boddicker.
Yep.
And he says, don't worry, they'll fix you.
Yeah.
They fix everything.
Yeah.
That's such a great, powerful line because of what he went through.
It's ironic.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
And a funny thing, I mean, when Bob is making fun of Dick in the
Yeah.
bathroom and he gets caught.
Yeah.
Have we all had that moment with a boss
Yeah.
where you don't think the boss is taking a shit or whatever?
And I love how easily all the corporate intrigue stuff is integrated into this action movie and all the sci-fi stuff.
Right, yeah.
Like, there's so many different elements just thrown into this thing, but
Yeah.
they all work together.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great study in just script writing and directorial control.
With all of this stuff happening and
Yeah.
it all intertwines.
Yeah.
It all works together.
It's kind of a miracle how this came off.
Yeah.
The way it did.
It does work very, very well.
Yeah, yeah.
It seems like it would also be a great read, not just a great watch.
I think so too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay, so how suck-ass is his future?
well, if you're Murphy, it sucks pretty
What
hard.
if you're just like a regular person?
If you're a regular dude, it seems like regular.
Well, it feels like today.
Yeah, it's kind of like yeah.
Corporations are taking everything over, and
You know, if you keep your head down and you make your money and you don't make waves, you're all right. You
Yeah.
don't go out at night, you know, in Detroit.
yeah,
in
yeah.
futuristic Detroit.
Yeah.
You know, I guess you're all right. You know?
Yeah.
So if you're an average Joe, it seems like, you know, you can get by, you can eke by.
Yeah.
Like you said, very much like today, if you ignore everything else that's going on around you, you'll be fine. You know, you keep watching
Yeah.
fucking I'll buy that for $1 and playing Nukem,
Yeah.
you know, and watching the media breaks, and you're fine. You're just kind of living your life oblivious, you know.
So basically, you just watch, whatever that show is, The Housewives,
Oh, like
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it's called.
or so I don't even know.
Yeah, let's not give them a plug.
Whatever the stupid show is of the moment.
There's
and you play
so
your
many
video
of them.
games, and you're fine. That's what you do.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're Murphy, it sucks. If you work for OCP as an executive, same thing. You got to keep your head down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just going to kill you.
Yeah.
You're not just going to get fired.
Yeah.
You're going to get fucking offed. You're going to get killed.
Yeah.
Dick killed Bob.
Yeah.
You know, when he was having that party with the two hookers and the whole thing. And Clarence walks, bitches leave. Another great line. It's so mean, but it sums up his character.
Yeah.
The other thing that I love about the look of Clarence, of Kurtwood Smith is
Yeah.
his name. He's got the spectacles on and the whole thing. He looks more intelligent, but he's this ruthless.
And he was a
Gang
character
leader.
actor who, like, he would usually play, like, the suburban dad.
Well, he wound up doing that on that 70s show.
Yeah.
He moved to.
Oh, that's right. That
He
was
started
him.
playing Red later.
Yeah.
But he was still the tough dad.
Yeah.
You know, like always calling Foreman dumbass. You know, dumbass. But I like what he did with the look of that character, what they did
Yeah.
costuming wise. He seems unassuming.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, he's this ruthless motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, he'll kill you before talk to you.
Yeah.
He has no respect for anybody or
Exactly.
anything.
Yeah.
Pretty badass in it without looking like a badass.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, it's nicely done. All right, we ready to move on?
Yep.
So we got to decide what we're doing next time. You have the coin for the toss here.
Ceremonial coin.
Okay, just one more bit.
Yeah,
Say
yeah.
it.
Oh, the name of the car? The
Which is?
6000 SUX?
Yes.
6000 sucks?
Yep.
Jeez, there's a joke in there.
Yep.
And a terrible commercial with the
Oh,
stop
God, that-
motion
weird
dinosaur.
looking thing.
Which is almost like, it looks like that 50s movie.
Yeah.
It came from 50,000 Leagues or whatever it was. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks
was,
like that.
The Beast from
The Beast from 50,000
or
Fathoms.
something.
Thank you,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Which was an early Ray Harryhausen to bring that
Yep.
all together.
Yep.
Yeah.
But once again, with the stop motion,
Exactly. Yeah.
paying tribute.
Yep.
Paying tribute.
All right.
All right,
okay.
so back to ceremonial coin toss. So
Okay.
I tossed last time?
I
or
think you
tossed?
tossed last
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Oh, shit! Doesn't count.
See? Okay. All right. All right. You call it.
Tails.
It is tails.
Holy shit.
Your choice.
Okay.
What's it gonna be, Walt? What's it gonna be?
See, I should have prepared because I was expecting to lose, damn it. Because you were on a winning streak there for a
You should
while.
always expect to lose, but you know it's a 50-50 chance every time.
All right.
Simple math.
You know what? I'm going to go for the most modern dystopian film that we've seen lately.
Whoa. Okay.
Blade Runner 2049.
Wow. Okay.
Let's bring it up to date
That's
a
a
little
big
bit.
one.
Yeah.
That is a huge one. Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that. Since
Okay.
we did Blade Runner already,
Yeah.
let's talk
Okay.
about 2049.
Okay. Let's do this.
Excellent.
All right. Okay. Thank you for listening, people. Just as a reminder, we are on YouTube, we are on WordPress, we are on Twitter. You can get us through Google and iTunes, so you have no more excuses.
Many platforms to check us out on.
Exactly.
Do
And
people still say platforms anymore?
platforms?
Yeah.
Only old people.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah.
Damn it. I retract that.
The kids have some thing that they say that I don't know what that is.
Oh, you just made yourself look old too. Shit. All right, so I don't feel so lonely.
Yeah, exactly.
Get on the interwebs.
Yeah. Jump on there through your AOL accounts and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yes. We are, as always, Useless Info Inc.
I'm Walt.
I am Max.
Listen to us. Comment, please.
That's right.
Let us know you're out there.
As we all know, the future sucks, so make today awesome.
The future sucks.
Iris scan accepted. Have a good day.